all right. They're doing okay. They're close to the river. Those that in the forest, they're not as fortunate, so they use whatever they have around their land, like bamboo and straw and leaves. So yeah, this is a village that's close by to the river.
Yeah, a couple more images of the kids. Yeah. Oh, this little kid on the right. Oh, what a brat! You know, we'd be playing around, and of course he'd spin on the cards. He'd give you the cards, and so I caught on to that pretty quick. And he was. It's funny because you see him in a lot of these pictures. He wants to be part of everything, so he was kind of fun. Now this was actually the original school that we tore down, and they had built their own blocks, and it was actually a bit of a disaster when you walked into it.
You see the amount of sand. They were ready for us to arrive, and when we arrived, those sand and further down those fine gravel, and they had their village people went down to the river and get all those material.
Yeah, but up the wall, there's a big, huge crack. The blocks were falling apart. They made them themselves because they thought they could save money. Well, now they have to replace the entire school because they're worried about the walls falling in on the kids.
And the buffalo of the ox everywhere.
Oh yeah, everywhere. This was inside, and the floor was just so badly mottled, and so that had to come out. The roof was leaking. You can see sort of the white circles. I mean, some of those holes were bigger than, actually bigger than that at some end. So, they figured they'd get another year out of it, and that was about it. And this is some of the furniture that they used. Now, this was a meeting with the chiefs. We discussed with them what their priorities for their village were, and it's funny because they had it in the same order we were looking at it in too, which was kind of neat. Their number one priority in this particular village was education, and that was the same with both villages, education. Second was clean water, and the third one was hygienic toilets. It was when you got to the fourth one you started to see a bit of a difference. Fourth one in the other village, because it's a 2-hour trek in, was healthcare. They wanted some sort of doctor or nurse that could come and help. And but this village had tourism. They're right on the river, so they get a little faster access to healthcare. And so I am going to look at that to see if there's something that we can do to help the villages sustain themselves beyond just providing the basics for life. But we want them to be able to grow wealthier for themselves, but without us having to continually put money towards it. And that's what they want. So this is the signing of the documents. What you don't see is a big wad of money. It's 8,000. I think last I heard 8,180 kip per dollar, per American dollar. And so you can imagine, that's a lot of money, and stacks of money to get it over there. Oh yeah, this was a little more celebratory type of fatsi, and really the hygiene was absolutely disgusting. So why don't you describe the scene to them? Oh, it was awful.
Well, after the prayer, the chief and whoever they're sitting in the front row in front of us, they will start nipping on the food. It's a bit of fat, it's a bit of rice, a bit of veggie, a bit of sauce, and just throw it on your hand. And everyone just throw a little bit, so you mold it into a ball, and you eat it.
With all this pork fat.
And when you look at your fingernails, did you just do the scraping earlier on,
Well, let's talk. It starts off with this bucket of water, and it's just like a normal pail, and it's got about this much water at the bottom, and often, most of the time, we were offered to wash our hands first, before your meal. They all do that, in the same bucket, the same water, and you wipe your hands on this nice dirty towel, and then when you're finished, you use that same bucket again, with the same 4 inches of water in the bottom. Now you got about 50 people doing this. What do you think that water's like? So, needless to say, we took our own, hand sanitizer with us, so we used that a lot. So, it was awful. But anyway, so this is really enjoying the festivities, and it had a lot to do with that rice whiskey. And the thing is, when the chief gives you something, you take it. And some of the food they gave me this thing. I had no idea what it was. I tried to break the whole piece off. It was too big. Anyway, I had to put the whole thing in my mouth. It took me 15 minutes. Really chewy. There had to be bones in it. And I'm thinking, oh God, what did I just eat? It was a starling. It was a whole bird. And in the bowl beside that one was a whole thing of frogs. Whole frogs.
They don't have electricity, so they usually after the rain, they will go to a pot of water and they will catch frogs. And they will cook it on their face. They just cook the whole thing.
Mine started to gag on one. Yeah, he started to gag, so he thought he'd wash it down with whiskey. Well, that even made it worse. But even after that, you know, the chief, I mean, obviously this was much more of a party village than the other ones, and the chief just kept giving you shots. And, you know, this is the time I finally snuck up. I was going cross-eyed. I don't drink. And with so many shots of this rice whiskey, holy cow. So anyway, I managed to stumble my way out. But 15 minutes later, I was sober. And we worked off a lot more with playing frisbee, and you were playing volleyball. Yeah,
we fought for that.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. And they also had declared a 2-day holiday. So this was the last morning we spent with the kids, and again, we're giving stickers. Look at that. Yeah, you can see all the friendship bands that we put on from Jennifer. And this is the progress of the new school. It's almost done. They sent me the first picture, and it looked like it was done, but in the middle of the school there was no walls in between the rooms. And one of the reasons we put the school in was so that they could have separate rooms. And they said, oh, well, the government took away one of the teachers. And I said, well, you're never going to get it back unless you get the walls in. And so that's exactly what happened. We got the teacher back, because now they've got separate rooms to teach it. So you can see now the room's a lot shorter.
We'll be supplying that furniture as well.
Yeah. The furniture should have arrived by now. So we had hoped to have pictures of that beforehand, but because the kids are supposed to be back at school now. So anyway, so that's the update for those two schools. We're going to be working on the hygienic toilets. They're using their old ones, but we're going to look at a better way of doing it. At least that's big enough for septic field. Now this one here, we were shocked. We traveled another couple hours up the river, and we saw this sign on a bamboo school, and right beside it was being a brand new concrete school being built. And students of Richmond High and Global Perspectives 12. So that was pretty cool to see that we weren't the only ones. This is going to be our next school. And I still have $6,500 to raise in 5 weeks to build this school. And the whole school is going to be about $9,000. But we have been working on a lot of different projects as well, so it's hard to know where to assign it to. This was the inside of that school. Oh, the guy on the left here, that's the guy who learned the guitar, and just excellent guy. This is our second project. This is absolutely imperative that we build this. If I have to give the money myself, this is their drinking hole. They share it with a water buffalo. And you know what? My heart just sank when I saw that. It was just so disturbing.
Mosquitoes, like breathing.
Yeah, so anyway, that's going to be done. I want you to know there is an update to this. And partly with the help of Barb, we now have $700 left to raise, and we're going to do it. Within the next 5 weeks, I'm going to have enough to do this entire water source. Now, the water source project is a project that comes from halfway up a mountain. We're running pipe all the way down, building a water tank, keep the pressure in, and run taps in the village itself. So that's a project that's we're almost there. I can't believe it. From $7,100 down to $700.
Now this water, they will dry up during the dry season. And all the people there, they need to hike for 2 miles to get some water for the day.
And
they're happy people.
This was the second one. This was interesting. Their sponsor built a school and went back to build a big water tank to get water to the school and to the hygienic to the toilet. And the other thing was it was on this hill. Problem is the hill was so steep This is only the top third of it. The rest of it was solid mud, and the kids would, couldn't get up the hill. In the rainy season, it's just like red mud. You just slide on it. And so they had started it, and unfortunately the sponsor passed away with cancer by that point. And so there was only $3,000 left to spend, and it was a monk that talked to me about it. So other than seeing it, once we see it, I'm sure we're going to approve it, so we have the money for that. But I still have to, confirm with them exactly how much it is going to cost. But they've got a pretty good proposal. The monk speaks absolute perfect English, so I'm going to be getting them to do more translations for us. So this is another school. We won't be able to get to that this year, but next year there's a number of schools. So we're going to show you a few of them right now. So this is the third school, and look at this one. Destroyed, and all it takes is a little bit of wind. So that one's destroyed. Look at that. It's just amazing. This is the worst one. It looks like just a fence around it. It's just a lean-to almost. So that's that we're going to hopefully get to next year. Now, you've heard about all the floods throughout northern Africa and through China, all that sort of thing. Laos just doesn't have any. They're completely landlocked. They really have no access to the outside world to speak of. They had the same flooding that everyone else had. All their lower lying areas got flooded out, no rice. So, in fact, it was discovered when one of our hosts was on his way back to Luang Prabang after taking pictures, and all the farmers were out on the side of the street begging because they had nothing. They lost everything. Yeah, completely washed away. So anyway, here we go. An update on that. We have only 11 water sponsors. I want you guys to know, when we came in to set up, the volunteers, the Capitol Theater volunteers in the theater right now, they sponsored a water filter. So that brought them down from 12 to 11, and just put the money together to get a filter for them. Now here's what we're going to do. That it includes the stand for $50 Canadian. Actually, it costs 52, but just to round the number down, because I want you to know every single penny that we raise goes straight to the projects. Nothing goes to overheads. Nothing goes to the computers required, not even the paper. Mike and I are sponsoring all of that. Even employees, we sponsor the employees over there. So every penny goes to the projects directly. And so with this, we're going to, with the Lao, that's actually a Lao label that's on the front. We're putting a different label on it. It's got the Canadian flag in the background. Unless you're American, then we use an American flag. We put on it in Lao language, it says, in friendship and respect. And then we put a name of your choosing on it, the town or city that you're from, the province. And then we take a picture with the receiving family, and we email it to you. And as not only as a keepsake for you, but it's to show the people of Laos that there's a lot of us that care. And for us, it's absolutely important that we do that. And it also shows anybody who might be watching that we plan to show everyone where every penny goes. And we're just finalizing an update right now, I think, for that, for the finance side of things. I also want you to know that we've applied right now for not-for-profit organization. It has been approved. We are just now waiting for the papers to come back. Should be back within a couple of weeks, and then we go right into the charitable status. So that we hope, and that takes forever, but we expect that a year from now we'll be able to issue tax receipts. So that's pretty cool. Now, the two teachers. Just today, I got confirmation and check for the last teacher, so that is done. So now we have the two teachers that we needed paid for. I have prepaid actually for the teachers, so that because the classes were just starting, so I wanted to get them some money. The water source project, as I said, we're now down to 700 on that one. Kids to go to school, primary school, $2.50 plus a uniform. I understand from one village is free.